Hello and welcome to this video about Psalm 35. In this psalm, David pleads with God for deliverance from his enemies and affliction. He trusts in God's protection and justice, and he rejoices in his deliverance. In this video, we will explore the themes and meaning of Psalm 35, and we will see how this psalm can encourage and comfort us in times of trouble. Psalm 35 begins with a cry for help from David. He says, "Contend, O Lord, with those who contend with me. Fight against those who fight against me." Verse 1. David is facing opposition and hostility from his enemies, and he asks God to intervene and defend him. David goes on to describe the tactics and lies of his enemies. He says, "They hide their net for me without cause. They set a trap for my feet." Verse 7. His enemies are trying to trap and deceive him, and David asks God to rescue him from their plots. Despite the hostility of his enemies, David trusts in God's protection and justice. He says, "You are my protector. You save me from violence." Verse 3. He believes that God will vindicate him and deliver him from his enemies. David also prays for the downfall of his enemies. He says, "Let them be put to shame and dishonor who seek after my life. Let them be turned back and disappointed who devise evil against me." Verse 4. David desires justice and retribution for the harm that his enemies have caused him. As the psalm progresses, David shifts from prayer to thanksgiving and praise. He says, "I will give thanks to you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing praises to you among the nations." Verse 9. David rejoices in God's deliverance and protection, and he wants to share his gratitude and joy with others. David concludes the psalm with a declaration of trust in God. He says, "I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God." Verse 14. Despite the challenges and difficulties that he has faced, David remains steadfast in his faith and reliance on God. Psalm 35 is a powerful and moving prayer for deliverance from enemies and affliction. It reminds us of God's protection and justice, and it encourages us to trust in Him even in the midst of difficult circumstances. May this psalm inspire us to seek God's help and to rejoice in His deliverance. Thank you for watching this video about Psalm 35. May God bless you and keep you safe.